Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Sam. This is iOS 13 Beta 3. Obviously, today we are going to be looking at all the new features and changes inside. If you're waiting on the public beta, it's likely going to come out sometime later this week. So let's check out what's new in iOS 13 Developer Beta 3 and Public Beta 2. If you're excited for that, drop a like down below. Always helps me out. As you can see, there are some really nice changes in this update. And hit subscribe so you stay up to date on the latest Apple news. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so first up, let's head over to the App Store. You'll notice right away when you tap on the Arcade tab right here that it's a lot more exciting. It actually looks like an official launch page now. That's because the placeholder image has been removed and Apple has like a full-on promo page for it now that looks really incredible. I wasn't too excited to try Apple Arcade, but after seeing the trailer, seeing the quality of the games that Apple is promising, this subscription service could actually be pretty cool, and now they've got a hype page for it in the App Store. Moving on, I want to address this one right away. I know there's been a ton of talk about 3D Touch. Is it going away? Is it staying? Apparently, on like the iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus, it's finally back to normal in iOS 13 Beta 3, but guys, I can't believe it. On my iPhone XS that I paid $1,000 for, 3D Touch is still broken. Like, it still acts mostly like haptic touch, where you can tap and hold, and it doesn't I don't know, it doesn't work like it should, which is really frustrating. It doesn't seem like it'd be that hard for Apple to properly implement it again, because a lot of it is just basically haptic touch. I don't know. I kind of miss old 3D Touch. I feel like it's still not back to where it was. So here's to hoping it gets fixed next time. I also wanted to mention this right off the bat, that if you have an iPhone 7 or an iPhone 7 Plus, which I don't actually own, but those are the only two devices affected, then you can't get iOS 13 Beta 3 right now. There must have been some significant issue where Apple didn't feel comfortable releasing it for those devices. So if you have an iPhone 7 or a 7 Plus, it's not just you. There's just no way it's out for you guys just yet, but I'm sure it will come out in the coming days, or maybe Apple waits a couple weeks until iOS 13 Beta 4. We don't really know. Inside of the new Find My app in iOS 13 Beta 3, there is now a specific tab just for stuff about you, so it'll allow you to tweak your location, where you're exactly sharing from, along with some other stuff down below. But before, it was just the People and Devices tab. Now you've got Me as well, to make it a little bit simpler. In the Mail app, Archive, if your email client or service supports that, it's now purple instead of blue, which is a really random and small change, but at the same time, I like it a lot. I hope it's not a bug. It feels kind of Halloween-y with like the purple and orange. It would be really cool if you could customize those at some point, but right now, it's just purple, and honestly looks pretty cool. Inside of the Shortcuts app, when you're actually trying to set a new action up, the apps page has been redesigned to be just a lot more functional. Like when you tap on something now, you get a menu like that, or you can X out to go back. It just looks so much nicer than what we had before, and you can actually, I don't know, see all the apps on your device. So this looks really fresh to me and just continues to add to the good user interface changes in this update. Moving back over to the iPad for just a second, there is a new copy and paste icon right there, just updated in iOS 13 Beta 3. And I don't know, a little bit of a change there. Nothing too crazy, but it is different. Over on Twitter, Federico Viticci, who's a very well-respected Apple analyst, tweeted this out. Basically, when you're typing in two different instances in iOS 13 Beta 3, the tab bar at the top, like that little notch-ish looking thing, the pill-shaped indicator, it'll change based on where you're typing. So if you're typing on the left, you can see it's a little bit darker on the left. If you're typing on the right, it's a little bit darker there, which is going to make it easier just on the fly to see exactly where you're interacting. The iPad in iOS 13 Beta 3 has also gotten some more customization for the cursor. A lot of people, myself included, when we first used mouse support on the iPad, were like, whoa, cursor's a little gigantic. So now let me actually go ahead and show you guys my mouse to show you the difference. The mouse was a little big, so I was able to adjust that now. Also, scrolling seems to work properly, but if you tap on cursor, you can now actually drag this down. And as you can see, it doesn't update instantly. It takes a second, but once you drag it down, you can finally get I don't know, a normal or healthy cursor size, and not I don't know, maybe been eating a few too many Lucky Charms on the weekends kind of mouse cursor. So I feel like this is a good size, maybe even a little bit smaller, but obviously this is stuff that's already been here, but I like that you can finally change this and customize it better. One of the more interesting changes in this update is right here. It's kind of hidden inside of FaceTime settings, basically called FaceTime Attention Correction, but I don't know exactly what it does. And there's been some hypothesis that maybe it will make it look like you're looking at your camera, even when you're not. It's only available on, I think, the XS and XS Max, maybe XR right now. But basically, they say that your eye contact with the camera... No, I don't even know how that even possibly came up. All right, guys, so I looked over on Twitter, and I don't know how Apple was able to do this, but if you have, again, an iPhone XS or a XS Max, maybe the XR, I have not been able to verify that, you can simulate your eyes making eye contact with your camera even though you're only looking at the screen. This is like a pretty cool feature, you know? I don't know how Apple did this. I don't know how it looks this natural, but this tweet is extremely convincing. It was hard to test like just me FaceTiming myself, but I mean, you can really convince somebody that you're making eye contact with them. And this could fix the whole issue of like, oh, you know, we're FaceTiming, but we're not like really looking at each other. I mean, really cool feature. Props to Apple for pulling this off. It's very impressive. In settings, when you're looking at your Apple ID now, subscriptions is back front and center. It was sort of nestled in here, sort of hidden away, but I guess Apple realized that that was a little sketchy looking, which it definitely was. Now you just tap on subscriptions, takes a second to load, and it will tell you exactly what you are subscribed to, for how long, when you have to renew, and all that good stuff that you want to know. Inside the Home app, if you have security cameras on your network linked up through HomeKit, there's going to be this pop-up if they don't properly support like the new video recording feature or video storage feature. That is new in iOS 13 Beta 3. Also new though is this animation right here. When you sort of 3D touch on something, I really wish that that's how like app opening looked. I feel like that'd be a nice little change. And it feels nice. Like it feels like you're actually like interacting and popping something open when you 3D touch or long press on it, rather than simply just like tapping on the icon and having something change minimally. On the keyboard in this beta, the microphone icon is a little bit different. I think it's either filled in or bigger, but a slight tweak there as well. As you can see, in this update, Apple's really working hard to like refine what they've been doing for a while and just make it feel better, which is exactly what we should expect to see. And it's good that Apple is fixing these small issues, because I feel like when iOS 7 came out, Apple sort of like introduced a lot of new stuff and then never really like corrected the small issues. So iOS 13, we get the big features like dark mode and stuff, but we also get those small changes that tie everything together too. So good signs, iOS 13 still moving in a very positive direction. Now, per usual, as I was editing the video, of course, a couple of other changes popped up and I wasn't actually able to record them or go hands-on, but I still want to show you them right now. So contacts inside of your phone app or the contacts app, their emergency contacts now stand out more. They have like this little red asterisk or big thing saying like, hey, in case there's an emergency, call me, which is kind of nice. If you have some headphones like Beats that support noise cancellation, and iOS 13 Beta 3 95 Mac discovered this one, you can actually enable or disable noise cancellation now directly in Control Center, which is cool. Now, we've heard rumors that AirPods 3 could support noise cancellation in some regard, or at least some feature along the lines of that. So maybe Apple is also prepping this feature to introduce that for AirPods 3, which are said to be launching sometime in the second half of 2019. Inside of the Photos app on iOS 13 Beta 3, you now get notified whenever the library is about to be or going to be curated. So, you know, there's a huge update. It's basically going to automatically suggest things based on where you are or how you're feeling through on-device artificial intelligence. It now lets you know that when your device at night is plugged in, it's going to do that, because obviously this does take some computational power. It doesn't want to draw that from your battery or processor during the day, so it's going to do it at night and make your photo library better while you sleep. I love robots working for us. It's so fun. And writing out these bonus changes, I know there are so many little ones here. Whenever you try to delete a message now or like manage your messages, it's actually, you know, called what it should be. So select messages is now renamed to manage messages list, and that's how you can actually delete conversations or select multiple and read all of them. Also in the music app now, the volume bar fills up properly. So I don't know if you guys noticed this one, but whenever you would turn up the volume, it wouldn't actually go all the way. It would stop a bit short. And every single time I was in my car, I was like, is it actually up all the way, or am I just losing my damn mind? Now I don't have to worry about that. In Markup in iOS 13 Beta 3, there is now a new option for adjusting the screenshot or image that you're trying to mess with, and that is for opacity or opacity, depending on which way you say it. Although it doesn't let you adjust like specific parts of the image, which is kind of annoying. This could be a bug, or if you just, for whatever reason, want to like dim a screenshot or make it a little bit harder to read, you can do that now straight on device and won't need to hop over to a third-party app. And if you use CarPlay, the bottom buttons are just a little bit larger now in iOS 13 Beta 3. And who knows, maybe there are even more changes that we haven't discovered just yet. But seriously, I would say this is one of the most feature-packed betas we've gotten so far. Stability in this update seems to be the best that it has been. Everything seems to open really quick. There was a delay sometimes, and I feel like those speed improvements that Apple promised initially have like finally been coming true. Like, look at how fast camera opened. Pretty impressive right there. And I would say the same about the iPad as well. It feels super quick, super responsive. I mean, I showed you guys last week in Beta 2, the camera is almost instant because you have that insane A12X Bionic inside, but everything, I mean, instantaneous. The speed improvements that Apple was talking about that I was like, I don't really know if I've noticed those at all. I'm definitely starting to notice them. They've put in the work. They've done it on their end. I mean, look at that. It is instantaneous in pretty much all of your apps across the board. You never saw this in iOS 12. So crazy that even with all these new features, again, iOS 13 coming up quicker than iOS 12. Blows my mind. Other than that, guys, really good. Battery life, probably going to be about the same. Still not as good as what I was getting on iOS 12, but decent nonetheless. Those are all the changes and features that I've discovered in this update. Let me know if you've seen anything else down below. But that's all for now. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Hit subscribe for more. I've been Sam. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll talk to you all in my next video.